Good afternoon, everybody. I don't think we got anybody here yet.
No, one. We've got one.
We've got
Hello.
one, darling. One. Who's the one? Please speak your name.
Welcome to the
Welcome.
Supernatural Show, guys. We're just going to be here on StreamYard here on YouTube for a few minutes, get you guys in, and we're going to switch over to Rumble here soon.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about anything too heavy here. Just trying to get everybody rounded up. Daniel's getting the other thing going on Rumble. And we didn't want you to have to wait too long, or because I know some of you actually watch the time, so you can get on at the appropriate time. How is the weather on the West Coast, my dear?
It's a little strange. It's been really cold and kind of foggy like the last couple of days. But of course, throughout the weekend, it's going to be super hot and sunny like it normally is out here.
Well, we have absolutely beautiful weather. Shorts and t-shirt by day and a light sweater at night and pretty sunsets. And then all of a sudden you'll have a horrible thunderstorm roll through and you think something's going to drop down and take you away like Dorothy.
Oh, no. Like that's interesting. And we don't get a whole lot of variation, but we did have an earthquake the other day, which was
Yeah, that was, I saw that. How did that go? Did y'all have any other aftershocks?
We personally didn't feel much after that. I know there were a bunch of other aftershocks, but they were very, very minor. But it was the first time that I heard the alarm go off on my phone, like the emergency alert. And then the earthquake hit, and I was like, this is new. Like, I've never been alerted before. So a lot of us were like, wow, okay. Some people got an alert after it had already started shaking, but I got it before. But it was a pretty significant one, just a couple hours away from me. And it set off a bunch of other little ones kind of along there. So if you could just say your prayers for all of us out here in Southern California, well, just all of California, really. But we've been expecting the big one for a very long time. I mean, all my life growing up, I've expected the big one, and I've been in some pretty significant earthquakes that just those effects have lasted in me for ever. And now anytime an earthquake goes off, I'm like, oh my God, is this the one? So, I mean,
Yeah, see, that would be scary. I do have to say, on the East Coast, like, you can see the only real thing we have to worry about are hurricanes, and them bad boys is coming at like turtle speed. If you don't get out of its way, it's your fault.
right? Yeah, no,
That's your fault, boo boo. They've been
right,
telling you for weeks it was coming.
right. Yeah,
You could have started walking and been out of its way by now.
yeah. In our instance, it could just happen at any moment.
Yeah, that's the scary part. It's just,
It's like,
oh,
you
that would
never know.
terrify me, Shannon. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
I have some friends out here who are from Florida. They moved out here a couple years ago, and the first time they experienced an earthquake, I called them up. I was like, "Are you guys okay?" They're like, "Oh, we're used to hurricanes. We just have hurricane parties, blah blah
Yeah,
blah."
everybody's off work. You go get some groceries.
The earthquake, they were just like, "What the heck? No warning. I'm all welcome to California."
No, the closest we had an incident here. It's probably a couple of years ago, and it was not an earthquake. But I'm at the shop, and at the shop, there's on the side of it, it's got a metal roof on it, a tin roof,
Right.
and this whole building, whatever it was, it shook the earth, and like the tin on the roof just kind of rattled for a second, and that alone was kind of alarming. I'm like, oof, what was that?
Was
It
it
sounded like a huge bomb had gone off nearby.
right? Was it underground explosives? Were they
I don't
building?
know. It could have been anything. It might have been Bugs Bunny. I don't know. But it rattled.
That would be like my 600-pound life, Bugs Bunny.
All
Sorry.
right, guys. We got sidetracked. All right, who we got here? Mr. Sidewinder, Mike. Hey, Mike. Hey, Super Sidewinder. Yeah, we're going over to Rumble as soon as Daniel gives us the cue that he's got the studio set up. He was jumping in the shower and he's out.
Yay.
I keep refreshing to see if he's got it up yet, but he'll probably give us a link when he does.
See, and I came out here with my cool 80s hair and everything, not caring. I'm just like, get up, get on the show.
I went to get my nails done this morning and I walked in and I do believe half of the town was in the nail salon. I'm like, not today. Not today. We're not.
You don't want like fancy nails? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I love fancy nails. I have to keep mine kind of practical because we restore antique tractors at night.
Yeah, that is really super cool. I love that. We don't have a whole lot of tractors in my Stepford wife home.
I have to send you. I'll have to share the TikTok page with you because TikTok page isn't about us. It's just kind of keeping up with the tractors as we go through them because I send the owners video, kind of like progress videos that they can keep and they can hand them down to their kids because these tractors are old. You know, they're family heirlooms that are being handed down. So we try to keep a digital record, and TikTok's kind of a way we can do that. Plus some of the silly stuff we do around here. I think it's Tyler Farms Zero. Hang on. Tyler.Farms Zero. I'll send you a TikTok link.
Yay!
We'll be standing on tractors. We'll be doing some silly stuff.
That's awesome.
So are you still working on a plan to come out this summer?
I am. I would like to get some kind of a fundraiser going. I'm not much for one to try and, do that kind of thing, but I will be making some really cool things to for any donations because it is really important that we finally come out and meet each other and do something cool for our audience after Dan had passed. I just it broke my heart that I didn't get to give him a hug in person like we had talked about for so long. And so it is my mission to come out and give all of you guys a hug personally, Daniel and Kim and you, Roxy, and maybe we can go look for some Sasquatch.
We'll have to go out there in the woods next to Daniel. Unfortunately, where I live out here, I live in the country. What used to be the country, which has now become the suburbs. All the farms out here, a lot of them, corporate farming has took over so much that there are no small family farms. Now, when I say small family farms, I mean a farming a couple of 100 acres.
Right.
As far as a small family, there are none of those. There's very few of them left. A lot of it's corporate, and you got generations later that don't care anything about it. And you got 6 kids, and when the parents die, the land gets split or it gets sold off to a subdivision. And we got like 100+ acres right beside us that's fixing to probably be turned into a subdivision. We are being overrun.
This is so sad. This is, what happened out here because I'm from a town really like Redlands, Yucaipa, San Bernardino area. We used to be like number one even before Florida became like on par with us with oranges. We had thousands of orange groves all around here, Riverside, like this whole area. And they were already kind of tearing them down a little bit as I was growing up, but now it's just there's so very few orange groves left, and Florida has kind of taken over the orange juice game. So we're not as awesome in that department. There's still a lot of them kind of nearby, but they're not in the production of selling oranges as much anymore. And it's just kind of sad because I loved those.
Well, this area used to be very prevalent in tobacco farming, and it's all but non-existent out here. We could get into that, but that's a whole nother GMO conversation. We probably don't
Right?
start today.
Oh, we had a whole fruit fly debacle over here, and they had to spray and spray and spray, and in people's yards and their houses and their own personal trees. They had no choice. It was really sad. So yeah, I get.
Yeah, it's the small family farming around here is just about gone, and it's hard to. And I was not a farmer. I was not brought up a farmer, but now I'm kind of attached to somebody that was, and you realize that one piece of equipment that you see these guys out there in the field with $500,000.
Jeez.
How are you supposed to grow a crop? See, this is, and I never realized this. Farmer is the biggest gambler in the world. They buy all of their product, their seed, their chemicals, their whatever at retail, but they have to sell their product at wholesale and market. Think about that. Everything they put into growing that crop, they pay retail for it. But when they sell their product, they get a wholesale price.
That's just not.
You can't make a living like that.
Or even in like with hairdressing, that's what I do. I'm a cosmetologist aside from musician and stuff. But you know, one of the big things is we're supposed to get a discount on all the products so we can, you know, do everything. Like we have to get back bar, we have to get all the chemical stuff. There's a lot to it. And for the longest time, they really held tight on allowing us to be able to sell that retail and not having it out in like Target or your grocery store or all that kind of stuff. So professional products would be exclusively at salons. So we could, you know, make a little tiny bit of money off of it, but not much, just to be able to give people professional products. But now it's like you see all that stuff at like Walmart or Target or even the grocery store, and it's really kind of sad because it's taken out a whole big chunk of our business, and it just makes those products seem just
average.
Yeah, it's not. No longer do people want to take that, you know, initiative to get a decent product at a salon that your hairdresser is saying, no, this is something for your hair. Don't just get whatever run of the mill thing. Now they can just go pick it up for whatever. And a lot of those times, those products are watered down and you don't know it. So you are getting the real deal out of salon, but you're not necessarily getting the full real deal at those stores. So,
yeah, that's why they mass produce and they water them down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like grade A and grade B. That's the way a lot of things in the world are. I'm telling you, I'm trying to go more detergent free, chemical free in my house. I actually went to the hardware store this morning and I bought Lye soap. It's for sensitive skin. It's for your, face, body, all around soap or whatever.
Great.
It's an all natural, made in USA, no chemical, no detergent. We're going to try this out.
You got to let us know how that works out.
Well, your skin's the biggest cell on your body. I mean, it's the biggest organ out there, and putting chemicals all over it sure ain't helping it. So,
well, and that's the thing. One of these days we wanted to invest in a full-on home and filtration system for the water, because every time you take a shower or a bath or any of those things, all that chlorine, whatever toxic stuff is in your
yes,
water just seeps
fluoride.
So we've talked about that for quite some time, but it is very expensive to get the entire house hooked up to that kind of.
Oh yeah, I got one because I moved last year, and when I moved, the water was so different that instantly my hair seemed like it just dried out. My skin dried out. I ended up having to go and get a filtration system just to go in the shower head, so my hair didn't look like I had lost all moisture in my body all of a sudden. The water was so bad. Like, you can't make tea with it. You can't, no, it makes horrible coffee too. And it's municipal water. It's not a well.
Right. That's, yeah. we have so much filtered water around, but again, we have to bathe in this stuff, and there's a whole nother rabbit hole when to Southern California and the water battles, which people have kind of caught on to now because of the fires, and all of the insane water issues that we're having, because it's really owned by one main couple. That, again, one of these days maybe we can go down that rabbit hole, because the water situation out here is terrible. They didn't even have water to put out the fires in LA.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And when you find out that we are paying 3 times the amount of water that we don't, it's just absolutely insane. I can't even, I'm like kind of getting a little frustrated, so I can't even speak correctly on it. But if you guys ever get a chance to look down into that rabbit hole, who owns the water out here in California, and of course the almonds, and the wonderful company also has Fiji water. They're charlatans, and they've pretty much stolen our water and make us pay a lot.
I watched, who was it? Christian Bale was in the movie, and this was about the mortgage crash of 08, 09. And Christian Bale's in the movie, and he plays like a stockbroker or somebody. He sees all that coming long before it comes, but nobody's listening when he's, sounding the alarms in the movie. And it goes all through his story. And at the end of that movie, it said, if you want to know what he's investing in, he's divested all of his money into water and water rights.
Water rights.
Now, I don't remember the details of all of that, but
I mean, technically, my father fought that fight for many, many years about the water rights. I think he wrote to our congresswoman like every week, and they'd always just brush him off. But it's a very sad thing, because we are not allowed to really water our lawns. We're not even allowed to collect our own rainwater. We're not allowed to do a lot of things having to do with water. When they say there's a drought, we get fined if we use too much water. So we're paying for the water and then paying on top of that for the water if we're using just too much over what they're saying. It's a nightmare with this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I sent you a private chat link to the Rumble studio, but he's not ready to go quite yet. Let's see who else. We get sidetracked on some stories. We can be down some rabbit holes, people. Ain't no doubt about it. Let's see.
We're just having an open conversation right now.
No balls here.
Waiting for Daniel.
Sterling Stutes. We are in South Carolina, Michael, or I am. I'm in South Carolina. I'm out coastal South Carolina, about 30 minutes inland off the coast. I'm in hurricane territory. Shannon's in earthquake territory. In the middle, there's tornado territory. It's kind of like pick your disaster.
Yeah, I mean, every place has something. There's no getting around that. Every area has some kind of natural disaster that could be your impending doom, but it just depends on what you're willing to put up with. I mean, I didn't have a choice. I've grown up here all my life, so I'm like, oh, earthquakes, that's what I know. But I would be a little scared to be in a hurricane if I've never been in it. So it would be scary.
Yeah, it depends on the earthquake. All right, guys, if you're on here and you want to stick with the show, you're gonna need to go over to Rumble. Here's the link. Daniel just texted me. He's fixing to go live. Shannon, I sent you a private chat. We'll go over in just a minute. Yep.
Okay.
All right, he is live. So everybody, we're going over to Rumble if you want to continue today's conversation. Daniel's got an interesting topic he's going to talk about with a big box of cards that he's got. Can't talk about it on here. You're going to need to go over there and hear it. We'll see you on Rumble. Bye.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.